So,
Okay.
Michelle, we'll turn it over to you.
I'll call the meeting to order. This is the reorganization meeting of the Board of Education for the year 2018-19.
May I have a motion to elect Michelle as the temporary chairperson?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the first item of business is the oath of office for the superintendent of schools.
Same thing 2 years in a row.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Superintendent of Schools of the White Plains City School District, White Plains, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Next, we will have the oaths of office for the new board members who were elected in May for a 3-year term beginning July 1st. We have Mr. Ricky, Mrs. Lovich, and we will do Mr. Letizia's with him in the next few days. Thank you.
This is the first time.
Oh, that's interesting. Yep. We're ready? Is your time all right?
Yeah,
Yes,
in unison.
go ahead.
There we go.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of White Plains, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice
Earned it 3 years.
Yeah.
Next, we'd like a motion to elect a president of the Board of Education.
So moved.
No, we need a name.
I move.
I move to elect Rosemary Eller as President of the Board of Education.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Okay, Mrs. Eller, you're up. Charlie?
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of President of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of White Plains, New York, according to the best of my ability.
And now you may run the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
I get out of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle.
It's like a
Next,
starting picture. She's only started the game. She doesn't really close it.
I hope I'm a good closer. Next, we'll have a motion for Vice President of the Board. May I have a motion?
I can't do it.
I know.
I nominate Charlie Norris.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Vice President of the Board of Education of the City School District of the City of White Plains, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Next, for items on the reorg agenda, items 7 through 44. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lastly, may I have a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Before we close, I
sorry.
need to take my oath.
Oh,
which is
yeah. Absolutely. Oh, okay.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of School District Clerk of the City School District of the City of White Plains, New York, according to the best of my ability.
Now, I'll make a motion to adjourn the reorganization meeting. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you, and that will end the reorganization meeting.
That was exciting.
That was exciting. Next, we'll move right into our regular Board of Education meeting. Today is Monday, July 2nd, 2018. Please stand and join me in the pledge. The mission of the White Plains City School District is to educate and inspire all students while nurturing their dreams so they learn continually, think critically, pursue their aspirations, and contribute to a diverse and dynamic world.
I'd like to ask for a moment of silence in memory of former staff member Ms. Ethel Carner-Fogel, who taught ESOL at Highlands for 24 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have announcements by board members, but I think our prevailing announcement is that we all attended graduations, all of us at the elementary schools, all of us at the middle school, and lastly, all of us at the high school. And they were really, I think each one of us had just felt they were all great graduations. We like to say, or I like to say, that's our happy time. That's what we see, the fruits of all the labor from everyone in the district, from, just every single person contributing in their own way to make this a success for the kids, and to see them move on and be accepted to schools all over the nation is just a point of pride, if I may say.
It's the best day of the year.
It is. It's the
It's a
day
great
that
day.
we look forward, and, that's all I have to say, unless anyone else has any other announcement or anything.
Fireworks.
Oh, go ahead, yeah, the fireworks are tomorrow.
And it's not gonna rain, it's amazing.
No.
Right. So next, we'll move on to the superintendent's report. Right. Oh, public, sorry. Next, is there any public participation? You, sir, back there, do you have any public participation?
Mr. Miller?
Okay. Next, we'll move to the superintendent's report.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President, and congratulations again, President Eller and Vice President Norris. Thank you very much for your service, and really congratulations to the entire board. It absolutely was a fantastic year. The culmination was wonderful as well last week. There are so many things that we should be proud of, and every single one of them revolves around our kids. So, it's just so great to see our children succeeding, and we're looking forward already to another great year next year in just a few short weeks. You can view the video of the commencement proceedings on the district's Facebook page, also on the website. Mr. Shepard did a great job. I was just talking to him about it. It really captured the moment, and it was very, very enjoyable to watch. Thanks again, John. We are really excited to welcome one of our student representatives from White Plains High School this evening. Jackson Reynolds is here with us. Hi, Jackson. How are you? Good. And I had the pleasure of working with Jackson through the Action Collaborative and SEED during the course of last academic year. So I know Jackson's going to be he's going to be an outstanding addition and someone who's going to bring information to the board related to the happenings at White Plains High School throughout the course of the year. And he's going to share that role with Pilar Cerrone. And I think there were maybe 25, 30 students who sort of applied. They had to write an essay, and there was a panel that selected the two the two representatives. So we're really happy to have you, Jackson. And officially it'll be September when you'll be reporting on the opening of school. It'll be great.
Right.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yeah.
I got to know Jackson through my attendance at SEED meetings, but we also worked together.
Lifetime.
Lifetime.
Sorry. Lifetime.
At Lifetime. And we have tremendous students across the district, and particularly at the high school. And Jackson is he's someone that the entire community can be proud of, and he's going to be a great addition to these meetings and to what we're going to be hearing. So welcome.
Jackson, is he really good at teaching a spin class?
He's never taken it.
No pressure. Just by way of update, we're ready for strategic planning and coming up in August, and we're excited about that. Do have a brief development, city development and student enrollment update for you this evening, which we'll go through, as well as just an update on our residency investigations over the course of last academic year. Our summer school is getting ready, and our summer projects are already underway. And of course, happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope you enjoy the day. Get a break, maybe a break from the heat a little bit too. So I will go into development and student enrollment first, if that's okay. You know, there have been conversations related to development within the city and how that may or may not impact the enrollment within the district. It's sort of a question mark that's been out there, and one that, you know, is a little hard to thread the needle on, because while you can look at what the projections are, you're never going to have absolute certainty that one is causal of the other necessarily in total. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to take a look at what our numbers are, what the projections are, and give you a sense of what we can expect in the years to come. When you look at what the district-wide enrollment looks like and the 10-year projections, so look at 2007 to 2008 to now, 17, 18, and then again to 227, 228, you're going to see that we are going to see increases or fluctuations in our enrollment. It looks around 585, or about 8.5% increase over 14 years. Okay, so, but again, when you look at our numbers, if you look at 2007, 2008, it's a pretty dramatic change when you get to 2021, 2022 projections. But at the same time, when you sort of look from where we are now, there seems, once we get to that bubble, that bubble point, there seems to be a flattening in the projection. It's important to note that all of the build-out projections are included in these numbers. So that's for projects that have been already completed, it's for projects that have been approved, and it's for projects that are still in the approval pipeline and review process. This is giving you a sense of what our utilization is in our buildings, in terms of our capacity and what our peak enrollment is going to look like in those peak years as well. You will notice that our buildings are at capacity. Essentially speaking, you know, 90, you're in your 80s, you're in your 90s, and then in a few years you're going to be over 100% in some instances. But you have to remember, the district has been positioning itself to deal with and to take a look at this challenge. And one of the things that the Board of Education has done this year is impanel the Master Planning Committee. And one of the Master Planning Committee's main charges is going to be to take a look at the demographic projections, take a look at space utilization, and think about ideas for perhaps sort of a redeployment of our resources in certain areas, or perhaps construction, or changing configurations. Those are the types of ideas that the Master Planning Committee is going to contend with to look toward these numbers when we're going to have our increases.
And Joe, if I can just say that, going back to the bar graphs that we have, I mean, even though we're saying an 8.5% increase over 14 years, that reflects starting in 2007 to 2008. So that's not looking at the current status, which would only increase the students by a little over 200. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely
Year to
right.
year
It's on a year to year.
Yeah.
Every year compared.
And again, when you're looking at what the multifamily housing statistics are going to look like in the last 10 to 15 years in terms of current student population, we're seeing a total of 0.02% as far as an increase goes in these properties. And again, we tried to take a look back. I know Mr. Ricky and I were talking about this. We tried to take a look back as far as we could. We were very fortunate that the city was really helpful in giving us the dates and the numbers, and as well as the projections. When you're looking at approved and proposed in 17, 18, the units under construction right now, you have the continuum, you have 1 DeKalb, and again, you have your percent or your numbers of market rate, affordable housing, and your total number of units, as well as your types, and then the estimated number of White Plains City School District children. And again, you know, these are estimates. However, if you look at the estimates in terms of what the build-out was from the previous years, they were pretty close.
If I could just ask for a clarification, so, and I think you did at the beginning, the numbers that we're seeing here have already baked into the forecast that you showed us on that first bar graph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so projects that aren't out of the ground, obviously, if they're delayed, we would then probably see that delay on the bar graph, or if they never occur.
It would come off, yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. The bar graph is really representative of tonight's conversation, just based on,
No, I think it's great.
What
I
we
just,
know, it's what we
Yeah.
know.
yeah, I think it's great.
you're right, it could absolutely.
It's what we go
To
with,
your point, Jim,
and,
it could fold way back, because even the
Never know.
projections of just our own demographic projections without the build-out could change as well.
I think it was great. You said this is a point in time, and you have to pick a point in time.
That's it.
So that's what we're doing, and with what we have now. But I think it's important, because hopefully people will see
Yes.
later on, and you want people to understand it's not the bar graph, and then this is more
On
on
top.
on
Right.
top of that. So I think it's
Yes,
that may
sir.
create an unnecessary panic or level
No,
of concern that
and-
we don't want out there.
Right, so for the folks at home, all of the numbers in the initial bar graph, which Mr. Shepherd will make sure he puts up right about now in the presentation, include all of the numbers for the proposed projects, as well as those that have already come online, and those that are sort of still being reviewed.
And certainly the total number of bedrooms is not accurate in terms of the housing, because the one bedrooms in the studios are not gonna be where students are coming from. You're gonna see that from the two bedroom or the three bedrooms. The millennials will have their one bedroom and then move when they have their children, when their children are older.
And when the demographer, was estimating the number of students, things like that.
Norden Lofts, again, these are under construction, the pavilion, again, larger projects, but still, when you're looking at your numbers, you're looking at really fractions of a percentage point. So, again, these are approved projects in the Boulevard, the Esplanade, 440 Hamilton, Westmoreland, and Zion. Then these are going to be applications that were submitted for these particular properties. Again, over 2,000 units with a potential for maybe 200 students or about 0.05%.
And these are included with the bar graph.
Yes,
Sorry,
sir.
I'm
Yeah, just
beating the dead
saying.
horse, but
No,
as you said, application
every-
is different than approved, so I just wanted to make
Yep,
sure.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, we figured let's put it all in.
I agree with
and
your
take a look.
rationale too.
Yep,
I think
yep.
you're right.
And then Water Street as well. So, again, I think it's important. I think we need to continually have conversations, and we have in the past with the city. They've been a tremendous partner, and what we need to make sure that we're doing in terms of our master planning committee is staying at least a step ahead of projected trends, so that our facilities continue to be able to provide the high-quality educational experience that kids have had in the past. I think the board has been very proactive in this respect, and we'll be looking forward to moving forward as well. The other quick report that I wanted to provide to the board was just an update. We found 23 students to be living outside of White Plains this year, and we were able to apply the district's policies to them, and those children now go to school where they live, where they should.
So these were the results of
Investigations,
investigations?
yes.
And were they the result of reports that came to us that caused us to investigate?
They were, because the students who come to us initially and don't have the appropriate paperwork don't go into that number. They're simply stopped at the registration process. These are students who primarily came to us through reports from actually the classroom or the building level. Many of the reports that we get from outside of the district, while we investigate every one of them, sometimes they turn out to be somebody who's in a rental car, and the rental car has a Texas plate. It happens a lot. So you might see somebody driving around with a Florida plate or a Connecticut plate, and they're just, in a car with that plate, but they actually do have a residence.
Were the students allowed to finish their academic year?
So that's a great question, Dr. Stein. The students are only allowed to finish their academic year if they're seniors and if it's taking place at a certain point in time during the course of the year. However, I will say this, and I've talked to the board about this on those occasions when they do arise. We do everything we possibly can to make sure that we are being as gentle as possible to the child. We recognize that while this is an adult issue and we're talking about dollars and cents, that there's also children's lives in the balance. So we don't rip kids out of classrooms, but at the same time, we make sure folks understand, listen, you need to be a White Plains resident in order to take advantage of the White Plains Public Schools.
Or you pay.
Or you pay.
Or you pay. You pay the tuition.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, next, we'll move to summary action items. We have 29 summary action items. May I have a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to thank the Mitsuri for the $350 donation to be used for English as a new language classes and supports. They're very generous each year.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we'll move to other action. We have the recommended approval of the appointment of Johannes John Sieverding, who will be replacing Joe Clardy over at Eastview. May I have a motion? He'll be an interim principal over at Eastview. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Any questions?
I guess just,
Oh, yeah.
as far as the timeline for the permanent position, if you could share kind
Sure.
of what your plans and expectations
Yeah, absolutely. First, I just want to thank the folks who participated on the committee, who helped identify Dr. Sieverding. He comes to us with a great deal of experience, and we're looking forward to officially welcoming him toward the end of the summer and into the beginning of the year, where he'll have a meet and greet and so on and so forth. In terms of the timeline for the identification of the permanent principal for Eastview, we are still on our original timeline where we're going to be posting for that position again at the end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. We want to start immediately recruiting. My hope is that we're going to have a lot of applicants, both from outside of the district and from within the district. I think this is a great opportunity for folks, and I know that when they see that opportunity again on OLAS, they're gonna jump into it. So hopefully, Jim, fingers crossed, that we'll identify a permanent principal by January 1. That would be great.
with them filling that position in the 1920?
In July 1 of 1920,
Gotcha.
or sooner, depending on.
Getting the story and the message out there.
Absolutely,
So, I'm just
absolutely.
trying
No, it's good.
Thank you.
Anything else you wanted to say for this?
Not for this one.
Nothing? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we'll move to the recommended approval of a memorandum of agreement with the White Plains Substitute Teachers Association effective July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2024. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I just, I'm sorry, but I just want to thank the president of the White Plains Substitute Teachers Association, Mr. Ronald Nell, for all of his hard work here, as well as Dr. Oxer, Dr. Karatash, and all the substitutes. They really are some of the hardest working people, and we rely on them tremendously. So we were really happy to be able to bring this agreement to a close really quickly, and thanks to the board for allowing us to move that fast.
Thank you. Next, we have the recommended adoption of the revised code of conduct for 2018-2019. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Any questions? We discussed this
Yep.
earlier, so. Any questions?
Welcome changes.
Yep. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended approval of the appointment of Dignity for All Students coordinators for the 2018-2019 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the treasurer's report for May 2018 as per our attachment. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? I have to say, the format, I've gotten used to the format for these, so I think they're good. They're a good format. All in favor?
Aye.
Even I can understand.
Yeah. Next, we have the recommended authorization per recommendation by legal counsel of the appropriation of tax certiorari reserve to increase the 2017-2018 budget in the amount of $4,919,000.27. $4,919.27. I'm sorry.
We needed the AED for Ann.
It's been a long day. In order to execute the stipulations of settlement in tax certiorari proceedings as per attachment. May I have a motion?
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Sorry, I really did.
No, don't worry about it.
Listen, I
Just
really
saved
did.
196.
Look, I really did see 4
Millions.
million, but I will tell you that I do have a new prescription for glasses. I just haven't gotten them yet. I do, these are my old
Aaron.
Those
ones.
dots.
Next, we have the recommended acceptance of,
7 changes, we start with the agenda, you will give it
Oh.
an
Here
addition.
you
Oh,
go.
okay.
Numbering.
of this one.
There was one item that needs to be inserted as number 7, and all the others
Right,
will
right.
move up one.
Here, Charlie.
There it is. Yep, got it.
So, next, for number 7, we have the recommended acceptance of the June 25th, 2018 meeting minutes of the audit committee per attachment. May I have a
So
motion?
moved.
A second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the internal auditor's report and approval of the district's corrective action plan as per our backup. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor? Next, we have the recommended authorization to increase the 2018-2019 general fund budget to transfer 10 million
Yep.
from the,
All good.
you know, no one laughs harder at me than I do at myself. From the capital reserve to the capital projects fund in accordance with voter authorization on May 15, 2018. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We don't have any, do you have any questions?
No, it's great. This is
That
what
was
we-
great.
this is
That's what we
we're
want.
looking for.
Yep.
We can do this.
Yep,
We're
yep,
getting great
We
work
have the
done,
support of the community.
absolutely. It's a
Absolutely.
success, a success.
and then we don't have to tax the community with the bonds for years and years. So that's right.
Exactly. This was great.
And that work's being done this summer?
Some of it. See how I remembered that?
SED.
Yeah,
Oh.
New York State, you know, this
yeah, this is a good thing.
But I see the
agency we have to contend with.
teacher's parking lot at the high school's got some supplies.
Yes, yes,
It did? Okay.
yeah,
Wonderful.
yeah. Look at that. Okay, Frank's back there, yeah, yeah, that's my 10 mil too. Yeah, yeah. All in favor? Aye. Next, we have the recommended approval to accept a Church Street PTA donation of $1,384.43 for field trip transportation and approve a 2017-2018 general fund budget modification. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Thank you to
Thank
the
you.
PTA.
Yeah, thank you, PTA.
Absolutely, absolutely. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended adoption of the 2018-2019 school lunch budget as per our backup. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have the recommended adoption of the following entitlement grant budgets pending state approval as per attachment. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, Teaching Resource and Computer Training Center, McKinney, Bento Base, and Enhanced Homeless. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended adoption of extended school year summer handicap program budget as per our backup. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have the recommended approval of a 2017-2018 budget modification as per our backup. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended approval of a salary adjustment of 2% for the superintendent, assistant superintendent for business, assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, and assistant superintendent for special education and pupil services as per contract addenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Just want to, before you vote, just say thank you very much on behalf of the cabinet. We're very appreciative, we're grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. All in favor?
Aye.
Under contracts, we have the recommended approval for premium renewal with New York State Schools Insurance Reciprocal, NYSER, for the district's general liability, commercial, inland, marine, boiler and machinery, commercial property, commercial automobile, school board liability, and excess catastrophe liability insurance. The 2018-2019 19 annual premium is $605,223, reflecting a slight increase of $3,291.
Wilson.
Oh, no, that's not it.
May I have a
Board of
motion?
Handicraft.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next, is the recommended approval of the Sound Shore Consortium Agreement for non-resident tuition rates for special education students attending one of the districts within the consortium as per our attachment. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in any questions? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have the recommended authorization for the board president and the superintendent of schools to sign the Southern Westchester BOCES and Lower Hudson Regional Information Center Component District Agreements for services for the 2018-2019 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended approval of an agreement with the City of White Plains for school resource officers as per our backup. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Right, so that, we all saw that.
Yeah, we
Thank
did.
you,
Good job.
thank you for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended authorization for the Assistant Superintendent of Business to sign 2018-2019 contract extensions for the White Plains City School District to provide meals and/or snacks for the agencies as listed on the agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the following monthly rates for excess major medical coverage, Plan 1, provided in accordance with the district employment agreements with First Rehabilitation Life Insurance Company, administered by J.J. Stannis and Company, Inc., for the 2018-2019 school year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, the recommended acceptance of the following monthly rate for long-term disability coverage based on quotations received and in accordance with district employment agreements with the Hartford, administered by J.J. Stannis and Company, Inc., for the 2018-2019 school year. The rate of note, the rate has remained unchanged from the prior year. May I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
The recommended acceptance of the following monthly rates for group life insurance based on quotations received and in accordance with the district employment agreements with First Reliance Standard, administered by J.J. Stannis and Company, Inc., for the 2018-2019 year. Rates have remained unchanged. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the attached monthly rates for health insurance as specified by the district's employment agreements with school-wide schools cooperative health plan for 2018-2019. The rates reflect a composite increase of 3.6% from the prior year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the following monthly rates for dental insurance based on quotations received and in accordance with district employment agreements with Delta Dental from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2020. Monthly rates have remained unchanged from the prior year. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor? Aye. Next, we have the recommended acceptance of the attached monthly rates for dental and vision as specified within the CSCA bargaining unit agreement. May I have a motion?
So moved. Sorry.
Second.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Almost. Under bids and RFPs, we have the renewal of various bids and RFPs, service contracts in accordance with the bid/RFP specifications and as listed in our agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Frank just sighed.
Next, we're under board discussion, and we have some new and revised policies as itemized for our review, and at this time to ask any questions, or I guess questions as they arise between now and when we,
First reading.
yeah, this is our first review.
We do have to send the charging school meals and prohibition against shaming up to New York State.
Mhm.
But we'll send a draft until it's finalized,
Mhm.
this way we comply with
Mhm.
that new regulation.
Okay,
That is one.
okay. So we'll review and come with questions as appropriate, if any. So next, we'll have our board assignments, and these would be our subcommittee assignments. I did touch base with Kane, who was in favor, you know, if things switch up, you know, he's okay. I thought he'd still be good for curriculum, but I'm willing to, you know, I said that I would step off of finance, which I really like, to give him.
I would like to go on finance. I've never been on, actually, in
Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah.
So I would give up special ed to
Mhm.
go on finance if that is.
Yeah, I've asked, yeah, I think I was with Kane, and so I think he's, you know, he was willing to try that. Maybe we can work that out somehow, but I told him that I would be willing to step off so he can go on and get that experience.
I'd like to go on.
I'd like to stay on, HR. I'm willing to go on special ed, but I'd like to stay on HR and work with, Scott. I'm new, assistant super, but I'm open for anything else.
I'd like to stay in
Yeah, I knew that. I think if we get people to kind of stay at least one in where they feel their niches, yeah, that's, you know, I think that's good, and then we try to shuffle up.
I'd like to stay on finance, but I found a problem getting to, well, I really liked special ed. A lot of the meetings were in the morning and going to visit classes, and I was not able to get to those, so that was a fair amount. So I'd like to switch off that, because I think it just wasn't something I could be at.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I'd like to stay on curriculum, but I would be able to step into special ed because my mornings are more flexible.
I was
And
gonna say
I'd love
that.
to get on HR if that was an option. I was on HR in the past, so I love that.
I would like
Okay.
to stay on special ed.
Do you want me to ask, you wanna, I'm sorry.
I'd like to stay on finance
Yeah.
and move from special ed to HR.
And you're gonna step on special ed, Rose?
Well, yeah.
And offer curriculum.
And you stay on
I'll
curriculum?
curriculum and special ed.
Right, and Jim,
I'd like to stay on finance.
yeah.
We haven't mentioned safety.
Yeah.
I was in the
You know,
STEAM.
if those meetings, again, I'm not familiar with when those meetings are, but I think that would
They're
be,
not that often.
They were about 4:30 in the afternoon, as I recall.
you know, that's,
A couple times.
that's something that
Once a year, really, now.
I think that would be good. I don't know what our decision is on policy. I know I think I have a decision a little bit on reviewing all of our policies, so.
Yeah,
that
we
may
need to
be
get
more
that
of a-
up and
That may be a
going.
bit of a larger board project as
Mhm.
we look to do something that for the year. The other question is, as far as assignments with countywide or statewide advocacy, is that when we should discuss this? Do we want to take a more active role there as well?
I do, and I think we get the notifications of opportunities to attend those, and I think Kane, that's one of our board goals, you know, in terms of advocacy. So I know Kane has been going, I know you've gone to some, I think I've only gone to maybe one, but I'm fine if you want to step into those, and attend and play a role in bringing back information in terms of us making statements and how we can be better advocates for issues as they impact
Yeah, that just maybe
education.
More statewide issues that.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you get an opportunity to talk to other board members.
Exactly.
That
As
if
they
they may
come
be
up.
encountering issues that we're encountering, and we may be able to save some time and get to results that much. A little bit faster, come to better results, share information. You know, it helps with everybody with some professional development, but also sharing ideas with
Yeah.
colleagues.
Yeah, that would be good. that would be good.
So I'd be interested in doing some of that. I don't think I think we
Yeah.
should all probably
Yeah, we can
sprinkle
all,
it
we can
amongst
share that
ourselves.
out, yeah,
I'm certainly
yeah.
willing to
Yeah.
continue
Yeah.
what I've been
Is
doing.
HR full?
I don't know, I'm on HR so far. Yeah.
Oh.
Who else is
okay.
on HR? It's
That's
three
what
of
you had
us.
asked to be, so there could be three.
Randy wanted to move on to HR. So that's
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Thought you the third HR? Oh, no, it's Kane.
Kane was the third.
Okay, so,
He's not here, so I'll leave.
Kane's on HR
yeah,
Literally.
and curriculum.
yeah.
Oh, so can I do finance?
Makes sense, and
Right,
he's
that
got a
would make
background that
sense.
makes sense for curriculum, just as for you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Cheryl's been waiting patiently.
yeah, yeah. So you have all of that,
I need
right?
a third.
I have what you've said. yeah.
So,
I need a second.
so Kane is on curriculum and HR.
Yes.
And then yeah, because he wanted to change.
And Rose
That was it.
Rose is
We
on
can talk about it
curriculum.
with him.
Yeah.
I'm on curriculum.
Rose is on curriculum, and Cheryl, did you say you
Yes.
wanted to stay on curriculum? So you have three.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have an opening on special ed? Because I always,
Two
I-
people just
Yes,
dropped off,
you-
Cheryl
yes,
and
you
Randy.
have,
yeah, I don't mind doing that. I know I can't go early in the mornings all the time. What time are the meetings?
Well, they were like,
Meetings are 5:30,
but they have the.
a couple of times a year.
The
They
walkthroughs.
want
We
the
have walks
walkthroughs,
and
and
stuff.
those like at 8:30.
All right. I'll try that. I'll do that.
okay, so you have Rose, Charlie, and you on special ed.
Okay. And then what I'll do is I'll talk to Kane, because he was a proponent of mixing up stuff a little bit, so if he can get something different, I think curriculum is a good fit for him as an
Mhm.
educator, so then we'll see how we can mix that up, what he would be getting off, and then you switching
The
on.
other thing that, meets at night, and so I thought I could
Youth
make
Bureau?
it was Youth Bureau.
You, if you would like to.
Yeah, I love youth, I thought Youth Bureau was great, I loved it when I was
And you
on
know
there.
what, the only problem with that is we always have an event or something,
Yeah.
or
Right.
going on, I can't always make it, but
Right, but I,
I can back you up.
yeah, so we could split it if one of us can't make it, but I like Youth Bureau.
Yeah, you'll be primary.
Did Kane say he would stay on the rec department?
He would. No, I've been in touch. No, I can show you. No, I can show you because I've been keeping him up to date. Yeah, but I do want to get him, something new, because he
Oh,
did
no,
express.
Youth Bureau is different from
Oh,
rec
I
department.
was getting confused, I thought it was rec department, was the one that meets at night in the,
Right.
Yeah, Youth Bureau meets at night
Yeah.
too.
Oh.
I'm happy to stay on Youth Bureau, and
Oh,
if you
no,
do
do rec.
rec, and then,
You want
yeah.
to
we can
rec?
switch, I'll do rec.
Okay.
Okay,
And I would like to do PTA council if they'll have me.
yeah. You know what, I was thinking maybe to change that up a little bit too,
I'm
and,
gonna go anyway, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't have to be official.
yeah, I was thinking that maybe I would, go.
Go to council.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you and Cheryl will do council?
Well, Rose, what are you doing? Did you want to stay on that too, or?
I can just show up when I
Okay.
can occasionally, I don't need.
Okay, okay,
it doesn't need
PTA
to be
council is
official.
Cheryl and Rosemary?
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so all that's left for me to do is to work out between Kane and Cheryl, and you have your committees, Charlie?
Yeah, one. Do you have any room for me anyway?
Oh, sure, we'll find room for you. We have
And
to.
then we can, then we're
Well,
done.
let me write all this up
Okay.
and see.
And then we
where
can,
we are.
yeah, we can see where we
But I
are.
do have a
Who's on
question.
finance?
We
I only have one
do,
person. Is he on?
And who else?
Finance ain't my ballot.
And
I
Randy.
mean, I could go there, but it's just.
Finance.
Finance, yeah.
And then
I
I'm
know
gonna,
that's
I'm
right.
gonna ask Kane, because I had offered him to be on finance, so I wanna just say, this is how it shakes out, but I want something different for Kane, because he was an advocate of just shaking it up and bringing in fresh blood to the subcommittees.
I do have a question though. We are asked by the Westchester Putnam School Boards who our representative is, so even though you all want to take an active role, we still need a representative and a legislation representative. It's been in the past Cheryl and Charlie.
Do you,
So do,
You know what, I'll do legislation.
why don't we
Okay.
let Kane do one of those too? No?
oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah.
He's gonna watch on TV and he's gonna go, oh.
I mean, if it changes, we step in. I'll back up someone.
Vacation
Yeah.
during the
Yeah,
reorganization.
no, if something, because he
Learn your
was,
lesson.
And there are things to which we can all go anyway,
Right.
even if we're not the official
West Butt's
Yeah.
representatives.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Kane would be the delegate to them
Yeah.
and Charlie's legislation.
Legislation.
Yeah. What about your second committee? Do you have a second committee?
No, but.
We'll
Cheryl
work it
will
out. We'll work it out.
I-
So
I'll
I'll
be
let,
able
I'll,
to-
We
Yeah.
were also asked
Yeah,
every
Charlie,
once in a while,
safety.
although I don't believe there's ever
But
been
yeah.
a meeting for BOCES.
But I've never gotten anything.
BOCES, yes,
Section
they
one.
don't provide anything, but they ask you for a representative.
Safety, put me on safety.
I did
I'll go to
safety
one
last year
meeting.
because I just got asked to do
Yeah,
it.
but I'll do safety.
Okay, I'll do BOCES, Michelle.
Good, okay.
You'll do BOCES?
Yeah. It's not a conflict, because I am a school official.
Yeah.
Should be okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you know what, Michelle will send that out, and then we'll make the last minute. Let me just give Kane the heads up.
You're
Because
on
no,
everything.
because he's
Let them
paying,
watch it on TV.
yeah.
Kane's on every
So-
committee,
Kane's on
he
everything.
volunteers.
I don't think we have any board committee. I don't think we have any board committee reports except that finance, oh, no, we do. Finance met,
Well, we just
and we just
approved it all.
approved everything.
Right.
And we
Special
met,
ed met.
and HR met, and we cannot discuss confidential matters, but we knew it was a fruitful meeting. Your first subcommittee meeting.
Still smiling, Mr. Pepper?
And any other, I don't think any other,
Special ed met.
Okay.
We talked about code of conduct.
Right.
Food pantry, actually,
Yeah.
opening at
GW.
And some mental health services into Post Road.
Here's a poster, yeah.
And eventually in 2
Interesting, so-
schools, that was the idea,
Yeah.
community health.
And curriculum met, and so we actually had some very informative presentations. So Al Laporte talked about MAP 180 and did a statistical analysis to determine its effectiveness. And it's been determined it's not so effective. It didn't really do what we wanted it to accomplish, which is to help students who are having difficulty or have gaps in their math backgrounds. And it was not as dynamic a program as we had hoped it would be. It wasn't aligned well enough with the curriculum in the middle school. So the middle school is really looking at redesigning those kinds of services for students who really need additional math help. That's going to be much more teacher-driven and much more related to the curriculum and to address really where those gaps are for the students. So that was actually very promising, and I think that it's really important to us that we're assessing the programs that we're using, and when we don't feel that they're doing what we want to accomplish, that we're moving on. So, and then Kathy Barpolis also presented on the math task force for the elementary school. We have been looking for a new resource. We've been using Envisions for 5 years or so, and it was really time to take a look at a new resource, new textbooks, and Envisions, although we adopted it to align with the Common Core, it wasn't quite as aligned as we had hoped it would be. And so the task force met. I was on that task force. We looked at several resources. We visited a school that had adopted Envisions 2.0, which is the next iteration of the Envisions program, and that is the direction we're going to be
Right.
moving in. We feel that that's right for our district. It's going to be a much more seamless transition. There are many improvements that have been made to Envisions 2.0, and we're very excited.
Yep, that was the goal. Yeah, that was the goal. Good. So before I have asked for a motion to go into a brief exec committee, just wanted to thank everyone for coming. Thank our cameramen, John Shepherd and John Nishavitz, for all that you do. Thanks again to everyone, because you've all contributed to the success of our children. No matter what you did or where you did it, you contributed. Whether you came and, we had a cool, clean place, to be in for these elementary schools, and it was hot, but everything was seamless. So whether you're here at Ed House, every single person in between, in the offices, in the Family Information Center, teachers, TAs, office, everyone contributes ultimately to that end goal. So just wanted to say thank you. And with that, and thanks to John, may I have a motion to go into exec session to discuss confidential personnel matters.
So, second.
All in favor? Aye. Have a great summer, everyone. Happy summer. Stay cool, stay cool.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.